Here is a 25-year-old software pro in Shanghai. He earns a stout salary and has no loans. Yet every day he eats his lunch in a community canteen. Not because he can't afford a ritzy restaurant, but because he refuses to spend a single unnecessary yuan. Move away from Shanghai. A young woman deletes all shopping apps from her phone. A young man walks an hour to avoid a small subway fare. Has China suddenly gone broke? Not quite. Why then are millions of young Chinese behaving like this? Welcome to one of the biggest financial shifts of our time: revenge saving. Only just a few years ago, the global economy was hit by revenge spending. After staying trapped indoors for months during lockdowns, people exploded with consumer spending as if there was no tomorrow. Revenge spending. It was as if an entire generation was taking revenge against the pandemic itself. For a moment, China followed that playbook. But then it happened all of a sudden. Abruptly, China's youth did a complete U-turn. Instead of competing to buy the newest in malls, they began competing over who could save the most. On any given day, you can log in and see young Chinese proudly announcing, "I saved 70% of my paycheck this month." The status symbol is no longer "look what I bought." It's "look how little I spent." What makes this savings movement so unique? Because it all started on social media. Thousands of communities have sprung up online, where users are called savings partners or frugality friends. Every hour, members share tactical advices and strategy tips to save money: how to negotiate deeper discounts, where to find markdown supermarkets, how to cut monthly utility bills, and so on. Think about it this way. Imagine A buys a new $1,500 smartphone every year. B keeps using a weather-beaten 4-year-old device and invests the difference into an index fund. 5 years later, A owns a heap of tech junk, while B owns an investment portfolio that continues to compound. That arithmetic is now dominating young Chinese minds. Why did this happen? Let's be clear. Beneath the surface, revenge saving isn't about money, it's about fear. China's young earners grew up during years of rapid economic expansion. But the recent years have given them a series of shocks: lockdowns, property downturns, painful corporate restructuring, and rising youth unemployment. As the pains continued, even tech giants laid off. Job security was no longer a given. Imagine driving 90 miles an hour down a smooth highway and suddenly dense fog rolls in. You don't step on the gas, you slam on the brakes. That is precisely what young consumers are doing now. This mindset shift isn't new. History shows volatility alters human behavior. After the Great Depression of the 1930s, an entire generation turned money cautious. Grandparents continued to wash plastic bags and save every penny, because serious uncertainty alters how you evaluate risk. When the illusion of stability breaks, liquid security becomes far more valuable than temporary luxury. This psychological shift is behind the strangest sights in Chinese cities today. Young pros are seen flooding low-cost canteens for the $2 community meal and standing in line alongside retirees. This is a new social paradigm. Overpaying for lunch is seen today as a lack of discipline. This behavioral shift is sending shockwaves around the world and, in particular, through the luxury sector. For decades, global luxury brands believed rising middle classes will always want status symbols. When millions of consumers suddenly decide displaying wealth is outdated, that luxury model comes under pressure. When a large consumer market like China changes its spending habits in an instant, global supply chains do feel the pain. Call this the paradox of thrift. Individuals believe saving money is being smart. But in macroeconomics, one person's spending is another person's income. What happens if everyone stops spending at the same time? Businesses earn less, factories cut output, hirings freeze, and the economy cools. It's like a rowboat. If one person rests, the boat still keeps moving. But if the entire crew rests, the boat grinds to a halt. So what should the world take away from this new Chinese phenomenon? Should everyone become miserly right away? Not necessarily. Extreme deprivation rarely works long-term. The real value lies in mindful spending. That means before making any non-essential purchase, filter it through 3 questions. Do I actually need this? Will this purchase matter to my life a year later? Am I buying this just to impress people? As Warren Buffett put it, if you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you do need. Every era produces a defining financial habit. For the silent generation, it was raw capital preservation. For the baby boomers, it was real estate. For the Gen X, it was long-term corporate stability. For the millennials and the early Gen Zs, it was travel and lifestyle spending. Now we are watching the rise of a youthful generation turning financial preservation into a social movement. That is not out of a love for hoarding cash, but out of a desire for autonomy in an uncertain world. Ultimately, revenge saving isn't about revenge against a country. It's about taking back personal control over your debt, impulsive habits, compulsive spending, and your uncertain future. History shows us that major economic shifts don't always start on the floors of stock exchanges or in the boardrooms of corporates or in ministerial meetings. In fact, they start in your shopping carts right at your doorstep. Whether this trend lasts for years or not, one lesson is clear. Whenever an entire generation changes how it sees money, the global economy gets the jolt. That leaves us with one final question. Are China's youth simply reacting to today's pressures? Or are they seeing tomorrow's economic reality? If you find this deep dive valuable, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. And answer the question, could you survive a month of revenge saving? Courtesy, RD&E for the community eating clip. Thanks for watching.